All right, starting in a moment. Okay, so I'm not too sure how well this is gonna go because it's been a long time since I've scanned something, but what I do is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. And I don't go into too much detail in Photoscan. I don't usually have to, so this isn't going to be like a, turn you into a master scanner or anything, but, we're going to quickly do a quick scan of a thing, build a mesh, bake a texture. I'm going to then bring it over to Maya, where I'm going to roughly scale it and make sure I'm happy with it, and then run it over to Syntheyes, and then we'll apply a shot to it. Mark, hello. And Chow, hello. Do I ever sleep? It's such a late start for me. It's too hot to sleep, man. I'm not sleeping too well. I need a different solution for AC in my place. I did some research and I don't have a whole lot of options. But I was talking to a coworker and there was one possible one, except there's a little fault with it. At least for my place. So yeah, sleeping is kind of tough right now. Right now it's just cooking. Yeah, so anyway, let's go ahead and just see what happens if we get started, because we're gonna have a little bit of a bake time for Metashape. So here, if you haven't used Metashape, that's fine. I barely use it myself as well. So this is gonna be very simple and very straightforward, but you can come up to the top and go to Workflow, and you can see you have Add Photos, Add Folder. But we're just gonna go add, oh, Mark, I've got a portable air conditioner I'm offloading, but it'll cost too much to post it to you from Australia? Oh my goodness. Do it anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and add photos. And I am already in a folder, which is great, but you know, you can navigate to your folder, find your images. And here you can see that I have my images. I just want to show real quick. In Lightroom, I have gone ahead and taken all of these photos. Oh my. Oh, here we go. I've taken all of these photos. And I went and I turned the shadows up as high as I could here. I turned the exposure up a little bit just to pull out some of this detail. So yeah, that's kind of the business that I went through. Also, you can see that this is fisheye, so might be some chromatic aberration going on in some images. But we're cool with it, right? So I'm gonna minimize that, and let's take our images here. So again, we went up to Workflow, Add Images, and now we're gonna take all these. Or you could have hit select folder. Whatever floats your strange tiny boat. So open. So now that we have these images opening, come on. Oh man, I'm dying. Last night I went and sat in an ice bath. Not an ice bath, I just kind of ran the water as cold as it could possibly go into my bath, and I just sat in it for 20 minutes. Played on my phone. Alright, so for the record, it's 40 degrees here, which is record breaking for Vancouver, I believe. Mark, dude, I just looked up the temps in Vancouver, them some hotness. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I was out shooting a graduation yesterday, and that was very hot. Nearly died. And I had to shoot it again today. Same thing, out in the sun on a golf field. Just blazing heat. All that sun's reflecting off the grass. Coming up and acting as a natural reflector. Giving me a very... You know what? I'm not very tanned from it, come to think of it. It's kind of sad. I'm as white as they come, and I'm not even full white. Okay, so now that we have these images, oh, let's see, tomorrow as well. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be hotter. Monday's going to be hotter here. I'm shivering in Sydney. Don't envy you though. You're shivering in Sydney. I envy that. All right, so now that we have these wait, I already said, yeah, we have these images loaded. Let's go up to Workflow, Align Photos. And I'm not going to do anything fancy here because I don't know what any of this stuff does. But I'm gonna keep it at, let's go to high for the initial lineup. This alignment, it's really just gonna do a camera solve. It's gonna look for all familiar features and details that it can find amongst these images, and it's gonna stitch them up into a little camera solve and make a little point cloud using solve points. So yeah, that's pretty great. So I'm gonna go okay and watch it do its thing. Oh man, how cold is it? What's the temperature in Sydney? You know what? It's fine. I'll look it up. Ah, look at that. Man, I want some 50-degree weather. Oh. It's never been this hot here. Dan, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you like scanning. Also, there's going to be a little bit of a wait here. This isn't even the long part. This is just the initial camera alignment. It's the dense point cloud that's going to be a little bit of a wait for us. So I don't know if I'm going to sit and talk or if anybody has questions that they have lined up. Oh, I did something wrong. I forgot. I messed this up. Okay, so the thing that I messed up, looking at these images, you could see how extremely wide they are. So that is a problem for the default settings in Metashape. You got to specifically tell it it's a fisheye lens. So I'm gonna go back and let's see. So I actually never tried to clear this before. Can I just clear it? Remove chunks. Get out of here, chunks. Oh my god, you could delete chunks. Goodbye, chunks. Alright, so I'm gonna... Well, I guess it looks like I'm starting from scratch, which don't worry, I didn't do anything. This fine. I lost no time. So I'm gonna do it one more time. So, hey, it looks like a couple people joined, so that's good. Akam, hello, good timing. I'm restarting this scan because I forgot a setting. And Dan, man, you saw the first Geo wristwatch track I did? How do you score it? How do I score it? Well, we'll look at that in 1 second, because once I get to the dense point cloud part of this mesh, we'll have a little bit of a wait period for that point cloud to generate. So I'll look at your watch then. I did take a look at it though. I liked it, but we'll talk about it in a moment. Akam, what's this? So we're doing a photo scan. So here, I'm gonna go workflow, add photos, and I've got my photos here. Gonna select them all. Oh, I should have just hit Control A. And we're gonna open. Okay, so we have our images loading up here. While those are loading up, looking all pretty. Just for those who jumped in, these are the images that I've worked with. They are fisheye images, and I've gone and turned the shadows all the way up for them, and I turned the exposure up a little bit for some of these images. And, you know, just to pull detail out in the brick and stuff over here. I shot this quite late. Originally, I was going to do this bench, I thought, but I thought, nah, I don't want to worry about the depth of field and these thin details. But yeah, so that is what we are doing. We are photo scanning this, and then we're going to use it in the solve later. Okay, so now that these images are loaded, I'm going to come over to workflow, align photos. And oh, no, sorry, the step that I forgot. These are fisheye images. So I have to come over to tools, camera calibration. And am I loud? I'm very loud. I gotta tone that down a little bit, at least. Wow, that was very loud, and I hope it's not too quiet now, but my levels look pretty good. All right, so now that I've come into camera calibration, I'm gonna go from frame to fisheye. And again, I'm not gonna touch anything. If you think that you have rolling shutter, I guess you can touch that. Looks like these are some distortion parameters, which I kind of hope that, I think that this is all applied when you go align photos. I don't know, we'll have to come back here and take a look at these change after the alignment. So I'm gonna hit OK immediately. You can see my ESR, fisheye, all the information on my lens here, and OK. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna come to workflow. We're going to now align photos. And I don't think I need high, but I don't want to risk having to rescan this later, so we're gonna keep it on high. And now we have another brief waiting game. So if anybody has questions, now's your chance. But I do want to take a quick peek at Dan's watch. What's the software? This software is Agisoft Metashape. Had I known more about other software at the time that I bought this a long time ago, had I known what else is out there, I think I might have went reality capture. But if you're looking for something free, Google Meshroom. It's open source, does some decent scanning. It's very slow, but it's free, does some great stuff. A lot of Blender users use it. Walnut, I've started using reality capture with their pay per input pricing, where you can buy $20 export package, and then each export is like 25 cents to $1.50, depending on the number of images. I really like it. I never tried Metashape, but it's pretty big upgrade from Meshroom. Yes. Hey, I was just talking about those things. Nice. Hey, look at this. It worked. So now that I've changed it to fisheye, we have a pretty cool result here. So there's nothing too fancy to look at here right now, because this is literally all the data there is. These are, I don't know if I want to call them solve points because I doubt that these many points were used to influence to solve. This just seems like a very initial scan. I don't know what it's doing under the hood. I shouldn't speculate. But yeah, damn, download it from here. WeTransfer. What is that? Walnut, yeah, biggest upgrade was speed. And Mark, any tips for a first match move gig? Small studio, short contract, junior level, obviously. Talk to us. Go to Track VFX. We got job postings, but we're always looking for people to start out, and typically with us, people kind of start out doing point tracks, and then you do point tracks as good as you can, and then you hand them off to other artists, other match move artists for us to work with. And then if those, and you know, when you track, every time that you track a shot, just hit solve, see what you can do, take a few minutes to see what you can make out of the shot, and then you can actually prove to us that, hey, you're actually able to solve it, and you can do this, and you can troubleshoot it maybe quickly. So there's a lot of chance to move up pretty quickly, but you know, we'll see what you're doing. We'll see some of the weird crap you're doing. But you know, that's kind of an option. You could check out Track VFX. If not, if I were you, I would maybe put yourself up on some job sites like Fiverr or something, or other websites, and just say, hey, match move artist, or look for gigs, like type in match move needed or something, and just look for some of them. Honestly, I don't exactly know. So while I'm talking about that stuff, here is what I got, and I'll be honest, I don't know if it's worth trying to like take, let's say, I can go with this marquee tool, select some stuff, hold shift, select some, oh, come on. Oh no? Oh, you hold control to keep selecting more. So you can hold control, and with this marquee tool, you can also make it like other stuff like freeform and whatever. Oh, I forgot. You have to do can I do this? Can I invert this? You know, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not super great at this. If you want to be really detailed in the stuff, look up VFX tutors and go to his Agisoft Photoscan tutorial, and he does some pretty good details on masking and deleting points. Control I, is that invert? Let's try it. That's kind of invert in a lot of things, isn't it? Nope, it is not. Anyway, I honestly don't need that. I did a test earlier, and I know that... come on. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've used this. I've used to kind of know the shortcuts and stuff, but I don't anymore. Alright, so before I look at some of the stuff there and answer those questions further, which I'll elaborate on, let me go ahead and start the dense point cloud scan. I know it's going to stick within this bounding box, so I don't care about the points out here. So let's just get that started because it's going to take a while. I'm going to go to Workflow, Build, Dense, Cloud, and I went high last time for my test, and it did take a little bit of time. It's not overkill, but I don't want to go medium. I want to go with high right off the bat, because if I go medium and it's not what I want it to be, I don't want to restart this. So we're going to jump straight into high, and advanced, I'm not going to do any of this. I'm just going to let it go. So here it goes, and Dan, wristwatch shot. Ooh, is that the final shot, or is that the plate? Because I'm gonna go to Discord and look at the final shot in a second here. Okay, let me see. Let me just go down the stuff. Mark, oh, I've already got something starting next week. I just don't want to make a fool out of myself. Oh, sorry. Any tips for a first match move gig, small studio, short contract, junior level up? Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done match move within a studio, where it's likely a pipeline more, you know, centered around everything else. But if you're just starting out, please don't be afraid to show your flaws. Don't be afraid to say to them, like, if you're at dailies and you're all looking at your shots up on a theater screen or something, don't be afraid to say, this corner over here is sliding. I'm not too sure how to fix it, but can somebody help me move it along? Because please do not try to hide any sliding, because that's gonna go up into the pipeline, and it's gonna be noticed very last minute by somebody, and then that shot's gonna get kicked back, and because it's match move, which is kind of one of the base level things in the pipeline, everybody has to re-render their stuff. So yeah, don't be afraid to. That's kind of my biggest thing is, don't be afraid to point out where there is a problem so that you guys can solve it quickly. Also, if I were you, depending on what software you're using, this is just me, but what helped me get started very quickly at Zoic is, and also at Hydraulics, I actually do this now still, is that when I'm working, if I'm bored or if I'm doing something mindless like just point tracking, I toss up on my other monitor, I just let random Syntheyes tutorials play in the background, and I just hear for random little tidbits that I may not have known about. So that gave me a bit of an edge, because I kept finding new nifty little tips and tricks here and there. Also, if there's buttons in Syntheyes that you're like, hey, what does that button do? That's a cool thing there. Don't be just kind of like go through track and like jump through this stuff and see stuff like what's sticky, and then you can come over to help user manual. Where'd it go? And what's super nice and easy is you can just Control F and type in sticky, and it shows 1 out of 16 results right now. So here, no, let's see, sticky preference. I'm gonna click down the arrow, and here we go. So we have prediction modes and handheld shots. And Syntheyes has really good documentation that's very easy to sift through. So it's very easy for you to look for a random button in Syntheyes, ask, hey, what does that thing do? And then come into the manual, just search it and give it a little read. Give it the old lookaroo. Wow, I'm sounding like somebody I work with right now. Fuck. You're welcome for the shout out if you watch this. Okay, let's go. Oh, by the way, this is the shot. This is the shot that I'm gonna quickly do. That's the shot that I'm gonna quickly apply to this scan once we have it. I've already tested the shot. I'm just gonna do a very fast auto track. I got a solve going in like 40 seconds. So it'll be very quick once we get to that. All right, let me see what other stuff here. Sorry, I kind of missed a couple things. Oh, before I read down the list, Dan asked about the wristwatch. Let me go look for that real quick. Wristwatch. Okay. So, oh, there's undistortion. I didn't see that the first time around. All right. So, initially my first thoughts are, if I was somebody watching this and like you're not thinking about VFX, you're not sitting here trying to pick apart details and whatever, right off the bat, it looks amazing. Upon further examination, let's see, I actually will admit I saw this on my iPad screen. It's a decent screen, but, not super massive. What do we got here? Let's go HD. So, whoop, what is that? I don't want to go forward. Get out of here. It feels like I see something in the background. I think I saw something here. Maybe not. It's actually pretty decent. It's pretty good. it's something, again, this is like, I can't stabilize on stuff like this, so it's hard for me to actually tell how 100% things are. But, you know, if you're not if you're not someone like Captain Disillusion or something, or people who stabilize footage and just try to debunk the VFX and things, this looks fantastic. It looks pretty good. And the watch, let's see. Oh, that's bad. Why am I not like frame by framing? I forgot I could do that. What's nice is that it's like the same as Maya. So Maya, you can hit Alt and you can like, there's like the two arrows, the comma period. So it's kind of easy muscle memory for me. I see a thing here. Oh, that's interesting. There's something funny here. Hold on. I want to look at some messages real quick. Also, what's the scan doing? Let's see what the scan's doing. Scan, about 3 minutes left apparently. Cool. Okay, so making any stupid mistakes that juniors make. Yes, Mark. Mark, I hope that was I hope what I said earlier was helpful, but I see you have a message below, so maybe you've responded back. So let me just read. Akam, you did the Control-I thing. Dan at Mark, congrats. Yeah, definitely congratulations on getting a junior position in tracking. That is awesome. That is great to hear. Tracking is fun. It's kind of satisfying. It's not the same kind of like artistic thing that other departments do, but man, when you see things just work and it's matching and perspective and the geo, and it's a satisfying thing. Akam Control. Oh yeah, sorry. Dan, it's a wireframe render. Oh, okay, I missed these. I'm sorry. Mark, cheers, man. That makes a lot of sense using 3DE. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, you're using 3DE. I'll defs get watching VFX tutors on YouTube again. Oh yeah, VFX tutors is great. I've recently been having to learn more about 3DE because of a project that I can't talk about, and I'm understanding it a lot more than I used to, and yeah, one day I would love to stream some stuff in it. Yeah. And Mark, haha, Walnut, the period and comma keys to go frame by frame. Oh, oops. Yeah. I should have saw that earlier because that would have reminded me to use it quicker. And Mark, you helped, man. Although it's not the same software, it's helpful seeing you problem solve. That's great to hear because I've noticed a lot of stuff that I've learned. See, every principle that I learned of Match Move actually came from me learning to track and solve in Blender like 9 years ago. I bought their DVD. Here's what I learned to track in. Oh, by the way, let me look at this real quick, Dan, if you're here still. So now that I'm frame by framing, here you could see there's a little bit of pop right here. But this is kind of unusual because I can see that there's separation from the... Oh, that's a reflection. Okay, so the watch face itself looks stable. That's a reflection. Sorry, I thought that was unstable. But I do see a little bit of slide right here with these little incremental lines, the little dark lines compared to the yellow line. There is something right here. Yeah, there's a little pop right there. What's great about a portion like this is very forgiving. So this scene with motion blur, this is great. You got the angle of it. It looks pretty good. The locators seem to be stuck to their little positions there. I like that. I would definitely put some more trackers if I were you though. You don't have very many, but I would definitely take a little bit of time to put an extra point or two just to fill out this big empty space. And it looks like you have the hour hand here too. You could have put a point there, maybe something on this letter, and maybe something on the crown over here. Like I would have centered a point there, but it's not super necessary because you know it comes down to what are they doing to this thing and what kind of geo is required. But I like to generally fill out some empty areas and some big features that are sticking out. But aside from that, like, again, this is just it's great. Overall, it's great. It's pretty rock solid. If anybody was watching this, they would never see those things, ever. I like this. So yeah, I think this is pretty great, really. Okay, so what was it doing? Oh yeah, well, where's the scan at? Cool. We have 13 minutes left. No way. There's no way. That didn't take that long last time. Let's go Blender, track, match, blend. So this is how I learned to match move. Oh, this is a... I thought this was the trailer. Yeah, so this was... I saw their DVD. There was a time where I saw someone's YouTube video where they did some, you know, a 3D track, and it blew my mind. It was like, whoa, that's how they get things to go off screen and go past camera and stuff. So I figured out Blender was able to do this. Blender had a training DVD, and I bought it, or I had my mom buy it for me. Had it shipped over to our place in the countryside. And yeah, I spent a good while just doing all this stuff, and every fundamental. Mark said that he's taking what I'm doing and transferring it over to like 3D and stuff. I started out pretty decent in PF Track and Syntheyes because I took all the photogrammetry things that I learned in Blender and applied that elsewhere. Render House, hey bro, what's up? Sorry for the late joining. I was outside. You were outside? Gross. Like out in the weather and shit. That's sorry. Out in the weather and shit. That's kind of active of you. Very healthy, might dare I say. So you came in at a time where we're waiting for the scan. You know what? I think this is going to be faster if I cancel it and drop it down a level. We don't need extreme detail. I could have sworn I just did this, and it was not going to take anywhere near this time. So I think I'm going to drop it down a level, and I must have did the point cloud on medium last time. I'm gonna do that. I don't want to wait 20. I don't want to wait an estimated 25 minutes. Yes. Aborted. Okay. One more time. Workflow, dense cloud, and we're gonna drop down to medium. Okay. Oh, that's going so much faster. All right. Ren in the hot weather. Lol. Had some work. Man, the weather over here... Oh, the music's kind of loud. The weather over in Vancouver, it's 40 degrees right now, and it's just cooking. It's so hot outside. Gotta keep this ice water around at hand. Had to shoot a graduation ceremony, and I feel so bad for all the guys out there who are wearing these black suits out in this heat. Yeah. Yeah, Mark, dying from heat stroke isn't too healthy. Don't lecture me on what a healthy way to die. Wait, well, you know what? I shouldn't say a healthy way to die. Shouldn't call death healthy. Wouldn't even call dying of old age healthy. That's your organs failing. Pretty crappy fault of life, that is. Alright, let's see. Mark, haha, I had some house dailies work. Ren, I had to do that. Fair, Mark, fair. Render 36 here. It's 36 over there? I think it was 36 for me a couple days ago. Oh man, it's not fun. In Celsius. Yeah, same here, 40 degrees Celsius. Oh, okay, so this is going pretty quick, thankfully. I should have done this from the start. I shouldn't have switched it. I didn't know. I'm sorry. And now everyone's likely very mad. There are 6 people. Cool. 6 people watching a green bar go. So while that's going, is there any lingering things that I didn't respond to? No, I think I'm good. Oh, that's Dan that said that they've been implementing stuff that I've taught from Syntheyes over to PF Track and stuff. I thought that was Mark. I just kind of veered attention over to Mark unintentionally. Hope it feels good, Mark. You got that spotlight. I'm an attention whore. Ah, at least that's very self-aware, but very self-demeaning. That's fine. I'm being an attention whore too right now. I'm just trying to fill time and be stupid. I'm trying to think. What can I do while I wait for this? Not much, I guess. It's like 3 minutes. Maybe that's gonna jump up to 5 though, but it's close. It's going. Oh, Dan, question mark. Oh, Dan, thanks for reviewing my shot. What's your machine config? My machine config? That's a good question. Let's see. Well, there you go. Processor, 64 gigs RAM. And I don't see it here, but my GPU is a RTX 2070. So yeah, that is it. Intel Core i7. Honestly, I'm not a huge tech guy. I don't even know what numbers you're interested in. Oh. Yeah, I'm really not a hardware guy or a very tech-driven, tech-literate guy. I just kind of know how to do certain things in certain software, and it's been getting me by. Oh, man. A comm right? Oh, wait. One for streaming. Oh, yeah, I have 2 PCs. I have 2 PCs. One is driving the stream, and that's over there. And then my main machine is under my desk. And you just got the specs for my main machine that I'm tracking and doing work on. I'll be honest, I don't remember what's in the stream PC. Let's see. Render house. I think AMD is overriding Intel. You know what? I think in my stream PC is AMD. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a scary time for Intel. There was a period where I kind of thought that they were just kind of waiting in the wings, like holding out on their next biggest thing to, you know, once the competition comes out with their thing, then you release your thing, and hey, it's a thing fight. But yeah, they're not impressing too much, I believe. Dan, it's decent. Point cloud should be fast. Yeah. Considering what it's doing, this did not take this long last time. I did a test of this before stream, and it was like blazing fast. I wonder if things are just overheating right now. I am. Again, it's so hot here. If I touch the stream PC, it burns my hand. You kind of get Canadian bacon out of me. Wondering if that has any impact. Akam, right now you streaming on Stream Machine? Yep, always on the Stream Machine. And Dan, AMD user here, switched from Intel. Yeah, I think on my next like proper machine, my workstation, it's probably gonna have an overhaul in things, and by the looks of how things are going. Walnut, that's a long message. Okay. Is there a way to take two shots and track the same point between them and have the point solved based on both shots rather than solving it in one shot and telling the other shot the location based on the other solved? It sounds like you're looking for stereo solving. I'll show that in a second. And yeah, stereo solving, you can kind of break and have the cameras do things. I think. We'll see. Telling other shots. If you have two shots without a ton of movement, maybe the solve of the two parallax shots could help. Also, I just realized that half of my messages I send are essay length. Sorry about that, I need to work on brevity. Don't worry. No, if anybody wants to send super long messages, please, it gives me something to read. It gives me something to talk about, because that's kind of the scariest thing with streaming, is just having some dead air. So please write long messages. If you have what you think is a stupid question, just ask it. It's not stupid. Well, it might be stupid, but I'm not going to tell you that. No, there's no stupid questions. But no, I like long questions. Renderhouse, help. Both of you saying hello. Nice. Oh man, we're almost done. Okay. Getting there. Okay. Wow, it's done. Okay, cool. How many people stayed around for that? 7 people stayed around to watch that bar go. Okay, so now that we have that done, for anybody who needed a really quick recap, Metashape is very easy to use. First, when you load up when you start the program, you come to Workflow, Add Photos or Folder, and then you're gonna go Align Photos. Just hit OK, and then you're gonna go Build Dense Point Cloud. Or Build Dense Cloud, which is what I just did. And now that I just did this, here's what it did. So if I just look around, I can come up to the top and I have some display options. And this little multi-dot one here, so over here we got Point Cloud, and now we have Dense Cloud, and bam, look at that. So pretty. So we have let's see, it looks like a pretty okay scan. We got some nice definition in those steps. It's looking pretty okay. I'm pretty happy with this. Was that plant? There's some jagged little bits of points over here, but I'm not gonna really take any time to clean any of that, really. Mark, what's the next step? But yeah, that deserved the that deserved the buttons. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, so Walnut, don't worry if you run out of stuff to do. You can always start dancing. I can't dance. I don't know how to dance. I kind of as a kid, I was. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna start the next thing and then I'm gonna comment on that. So here's the steps. I just want to take a look at the top. Okay, that looks pretty cool. So if you want, you can go ahead and start to clean up this stuff. Oh, by the way, the dancing, I can't. Mark, what's the next step? And Walnut, that make it be even better. Render house, heck yeah, Calvin Kingdom. Did you shoot a video to convert that into PNG or JPEG, or do you just took the images, and how much did it take? Oh, for the steps? Yeah, before I mesh this, let me answer that again one more time real quick. So, the images, here's the images. In Lightroom, I just shot them with my fisheye lens. Not all of them are great quality, but it's fine. The software seemed to do a pretty decent job. But yeah, they're just some images. I just kind of moved the camera around. Honestly, I didn't even get all the angles I should have. But I just went through in Lightroom and I took all the shadows way up and I exposed up a little bit more, so I was able to get some detail. Make sure you shoot raw. But yeah, that's all it is. I just took some images. You can take them on your iPhone if you want, and the scans turned out pretty good. So now that I have this here, here's the thing. If you wanted to, you can come over to your selection, freeform, select all the crap that you don't want. And then I don't remember the hotkeys, but I'm just gonna go up to the X, get rid of that. What is the move thing? Whoop, I don't want that. Let's get rid of some of these trees. X. Okay, so I'm not gonna go overkill on the cleaning with this. Maybe just a couple of these plants floating in the air. Oh, I cannot remember how to move the thing. Not the best selection. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it at this point. I'm just gonna rotate this around and so yeah, that would be our dense point cloud. So now what we need to do is, these are only points. These are points colored like the footage. What we want is a mesh and a texture. So now we're gonna mesh this. We're gonna come up to model. No, we're gonna come up to workflow, build mesh, and I think I might stick with low. I might stick with low because I really don't want to wait for a whole long time for this again, and I don't need that high resolution. So I'm gonna hit OK and let that go, and let's see what's on the chat. Render house. Oh yeah, how many did I take? Oh yeah, that's yeah, you saw those photos in Lightroom. That's all I took. Oh, you could see how many photos I took here at the bottom too. I can't scroll, but there's 1, 2, and probably 1 or 2 more rows. Render, well, we can shoot on any lenses, right? It's gonna make it same as it's in real. Yes, you can shoot with any lens. I shot with a fisheye at the start of this stream. I did have to come up to tools, camera calibration, and I swapped one of the settings to fisheye. But generally, if you're not using a fisheye, like any zoom, any prime or whatever, you don't have to do that. It knows the distortion stuff that it has to do. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I should have went low. Wait, did I go low? Was that the lowest I was able to go? Is license for Metashape perpetual? Yep. Mine is permanent. I bought this a few years ago actually. Yeah, permanent. Walnut, can you upload the images later whenever you get a chance? I'm curious about reality capture's fisheye workflow. Yeah, I can do that. I'll upload those. Render image made this rock with my Motorola phone. Ooh, I want to see a rock. Rock. Nice. Is this mushroom? What is this in? I gotta guess mushroom. Yeah. Yeah, mushroom. I don't know if this is just mushroom being mushroom, but it's hard to get some fine details. But it also might just be that you shot it on a phone. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like these. I love scans. Alright. Oh my goodness, that's not good. That is not a good thing. Oh, that kind of jumped up. That time changed itself. Render blurred out. Yeah, no details. Phone quality sucks. You know what? What if I put this here? How effective can I be at just prepping this over here? I'm gonna go run auto tracker. Render, thank you. Wait, thank you like it. Nice. Oh, add mark, sorry. That rocks, dude. Mark, back at it again with the puns. Oh, did it not auto track? Run auto tracker. Oh, why is it not Oh, they're hidden for some reason. Weird. That didn't double track, did it? Nope, we're good. You're welcome, guys. I'm here all night. Oh, all right. So, let's go Shift G, and actually I'm gonna go to Lens, turn on Calculate Distortion, and I'm gonna go More, turn on Quartic, maybe Cubic. Let's go all of it. So I did that, and now we're gonna go ahead and start worrying about these high error points. What is the error at that point? Actually, which point is it that's... Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go Shift C, and we're gonna clean up some stuff, and let's see, let's just select a bunch here, and... All right, and let's fix those. Give it another solve. And our error is probably crazy low. Yeah, 0.4. So I'm gonna go Shift C again. And let's, I don't wanna knock out that many. No, you know what, let's do it. Let's get rid of those. Shift C. And we saw one big spike up there. Look at that. And I'm gonna unlock it and disable it. There we go. Disable the one frame. Walnut, I've gotten some great scans from my phone images from reality capture, but it's an iPhone. I don't know about the camera quality compared to Motorola phone. Yeah, iPhones have pretty good camera quality. Of course, many flagship phones have great cameras these days. iPhones I still prefer because they don't apply a overall color gamut to their images or their screen to make it look like overly good on their device. Samsung devices, to me, their photos are great, but they're kind of contrasty and they lose some detail. I use my iPhone to do some scanning occasionally as well. Okay, so it looks like the mesh is going at a decent pace, and we'll have this camera ready for it. That's looking pretty good. Let's lock on to a couple things, see what rolling shutter on this is doing. Yeah, you can see some of the rolling shutter is bumping it back and forth, and that's fine. Again, now we know how to do rolling shutter. So if you wanted rolling shutter, head over to More, turn on rolling shutter here, do your calculate, and you can see it's also affected my distortion, which is good. This value here, you can copy this into your physical cameras in Redshift, Arnold. You can toss it into Blender and make sure you've got like a center warping shutter speed, a rolling shutter. Warping from the center, not top bottom or whatever. And yeah, that's your shutter. But for now, I better turn that off. So I right click to clear it, solve again, and you know what? Let's get into refine. I don't want to keep resolving from scratch. The mesh is almost done. It's got apparently it's got like a minute left, but watch that change. Let's see. For some reason, cubic tends to mess up my distortion when I have quadratic and quartic along with it. I don't know why. So it depends on the motion of your camera. My shot has such a big motion that there's really no room for failure. And these are kind of newer versions of Syntheyes. Its algorithm, it runs off of randomized fuzz and stuff. So you can see first path fuzz is at 1 percentage of world size. Cool. So when you hit solve using automatic, you get a little bit of fuzziness in it that helps you solve faster and is supposed to help with longer shots. and it totally does. But sometimes it's unpredictable, and if you have shots with very little data, Syntheyes is like, oh, some of these trackers feel like they're far, and it does these random weird things to different trackers, and sometimes it inverts their depth, and then it screws itself up even more. So there's a lot of room for error with some of this stuff if you don't know what they do, and honestly, I barely know what they do as well. I always solve in Syntheyes 1709. But yeah, this stuff, I fortunately have a shot with a big wide free move, and there's no room for this stuff to screw up, really. Also, if you get an initial distortion, please switch to refine. Let's see. The mesh. Oh, mesh is looking good. It's getting there. It's real close. Thankfully, the texture baking bit is kind of the fastest part. Let's see. Well, I heard it. Oh, I missed stuff. Oh, render house. Well, I heard a new option of tracking an iPhone 12. Maybe it's called Cam Tracker. Just export that data into 3D and put anything you want. Yeah, you probably do, but you don't really want to use a phone to get yourself a camera. That would imply that you're doing VFX on that phone though, or on that phone footage. But that app is so cool. Render house. Syntheyes has rolling shutter inbuilt. I'm not sure that 3D also calculate automatically for these types of shots. Yeah, well, Syntheyes doesn't calculate automatically either, but Syntheyes calculates the stuff all together, which I guess you could say automatically, yeah. 3DE, yeah, 3DE you have to tell it to calculate all that stuff individually, and you got to pick your ranges and figure out your brute force and adaptive on different tools and parameters, or different lenses. Sorry, oh my god, I can't speak. Sorry, this lens is almost done. It's kind of late for me. It's midnight, and I have to work in the morning. Come on, Mesh. You're on the last leg. Walnut, the iPhone app, not 3D. Oh, Walnut. Yeah, it's not nearly as good as even an auto track in Syntheyes. Really cool though. I've heard it's best for generating camera data for full CG scenes. Oh yeah. That's a good point. Oh, that model is so close. Oh, that better be the best damn model in the world. I'm getting real impatient. We're also gonna make a decimated version of this mesh in Blender too. I'm orienting the mesh in Maya, but I'm going to make a decimated version in Blender that we're going to use in Syntheyes. Well, we're going to use the textured version and the decimated version in Syntheyes. Oh, why am I awake doing this? Oh man. Just sitting here, I'm sweating, and when I go pass out, I'm going to drench my bed. Render laughing. Get out of here. Dan, that app is good for Nephew VFX. Nephew VFX. That sounds like something I don't know, that sounds like there's something extra to that statement, but I don't know what it is. You know what? I should save this really quickly. Seawall. Tracking, and I'm going to call mine just the shot name and the version. Oh, this mesh just keeps giving me hope. Oh, let's see. Ooh. Walnut. Yeah, Ren from Corridor Digital posted some tests of the app on his Instagram a while ago. The above were his findings. Not mine. I have pretty old iPhone. Render house. Haven't you have AC turned on, or haven't turned it on intentionally? I have AC. It's over in my bedroom. It's kind of the only window I was able to install it in. into this new place for a number of reasons. It's hard to explain why, but oh my god, the mesh finished. Anyway, my AC, I had it on all day today. It's a single hose unit and it doesn't do well with temperatures at a certain heat. So right now it just kind of blows air that is the same as it's the same as room temperature. So it's kind of useless for me right now. I turned it off thinking, all right, what if I just let the thing itself cool down and then give myself a blast of cold air in my bedroom when I pass out? That's what I'm kind of hoping. And before I show the mesh real quick, let me see. I can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry. I remember you though, I believe. I can't remember what the name was. 3DE also can export rolling shutter with separate node to nuke, compensate with grid warp, node corner pin inside nuke. Yeah, that's the dirty way. That's the way that I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to start being able to push people at other studios to move away from. Because now a lot of software, a lot of render engines are supporting physical, like actual physically based accurate rolling shutter and in their cameras. So in Redshift you can do it, in Arnold you can do it, Blender you can do it. And with Syntheyes, you can take the value, the shutter value, and actually toss it into other software. And I'd imagine you can do that out of 3D too. Just take the value, and you can export your ST map for the warp just for display purposes. You wouldn't render with that plate or use it for anything. You would only use it for display in your software. But yeah, I agree. 3D can likely. I don't know what kind of value it gives you, but I imagine it'd have to give you that. Okay, so let's look at the model. So I'm going to click this triangle thing at the top, and it's beautiful. It shouldn't have taken that long to make this. I think my stuff is just overheated like hell. I don't know. But this looks pretty cool. So because we are, you know, a little impatient right now, and I'm kind of getting tired and sweaty, let's go to workflow, build texture, and let's see, diffuse map, yes. Source data, yes. Generic, oh, mapping mode, generic. Ortho photo, adaptive photo. I'll be honest, I don't know what these are. Mosaic, blending mode, yeah, mosaic. I think I know what that means, I like it. And texture size, 4K, yes please. I don't think I need any higher than 4K. I think I'm fine with just 4K. I don't need extreme detail for this, so let's go. Okay. Let's see. A render house. Yeah, they usually do that type of stuff. Oh, I'd imagine that's for the Corridor Digital stuff. Walnut Stalker. Do you have to decimate meshes before you import the Syntheyes? Not really. Syntheyes can handle some okay resolutions, but it's not fun. It's not fun in Syntheyes. Syntheyes' viewports are not very optimized for it. So I'm going to bring a version that I'm going to be constraining to, but I'm also going to make a decimated version in Blender real quick. And that decimated version is what we're going to use to actually see the wireframe and see it, you know, sticking to the shot. Why is this going to take this long? There's no way. This is the easiest thing. That's got to speed up quickly. There's no way. But yeah, so yeah, once this texture bakes, we're smooth sailing afterwards. We don't have to worry about this stuff after. Okay, Dan, Calvin Kingdon, can you say powerful like you said it for 3DE distortion? Did I say powerful? I don't know what you're talking about. Can you say powerful like you say... Wait, can you say powerful like you said it for 3D distortion? I can't remember what I did. I don't know what you're asking of me, Dan. I'm trying to recall it. I can't think of it. Walnut, reality capture uses GPU for a lot of stuff, so it's quite fast. Oh, that sounds amazing. Dan, powerful. How many people are still here? As this texture. Oh, the texture's going. Okay, it's not too bad. There are 6 people. Okay, a while back there was 7. That person's gone, but it's fine. It's fine. I didn't need that person. Render house, I'm here. Thank you for being here. This has been a very Slow stream. Okay, so the texture's baked. We can get a move on. We're done with all the long stuff. So if I come up to the top here, I can go to model textured and look at this. It's not too bad. We can see some pebbles and stuff. That's fine. This is good enough for what we're doing. Oh, by the way, if you see stuff like this, you can actually take this model into Maya, you can model out the stuff, and you can bring your model geo back into Metashape and have it reproject textures onto all of your retopologized geo with your own UVs. It's pretty damn easy, honestly, like really easy. But yeah, so here's what we got, and here's what we're gonna toss into Maya and just orient, roughly scale. I'm not gonna pay attention to the scale all that much, really. People, if you can figure out how to scale yourself, it's easy. Okay, let's see, didn't export walnut. I didn't export a texture. I didn't export a texture with my mesh. I'm following along on a shot. Was that a mistake? So I'm gonna be showing how to use the texture in Syntheyes. So you don't have to, but if you are able to get a texture along with your scan, do it. But you don't have to. But do it. Mark, that's pretty cool. Nice. I love these scans. I think they're pretty cool too. Render House, we are so thankful for you teaching us industry standards. Yeah. I know every time I say this, somebody gives me a compliment like that, and I say, yeah, I wish there's more stuff out there like this. But no, I mean that every time. I love getting compliments like that because it's a good reminder of why I started this. I started this to help track VFX employees, but it's nice that other people are kind of catching on to it. Okay, so now that one more question, then I'm going to take this out. Akam, show us if you can how to model. How to model? Show us how to model this thing. We're not going to model this here. Usually lidars, you know, we don't really model them ourselves. But hey, let's take this out. I could show you a brief, like one fast modeling thing that I might do. So over here, I can right-click this chunk, come over to export, and we can export model, and that's also gonna export our textures and everything. I don't know why there's a separate thing here. Export model. Okay, so I'm gonna come over to my thing here, and I'm gonna go raw scan. So I'm gonna go mountain. Why is it called mountain? Did I scan a mountain before? Stairs underscore B01. Save. Okay, so export texture. Yes. I'm just gonna go JPEG. If you got UDIMs, that's awesome that you can do that. Actually, that is very awesome. I gotta keep that in mind. I didn't know. Okay, and we're gonna go okay. Okay, now that we have that, I'm gonna jump over to Maya, and let's immediately go Control-I, import. My window appeared on my other screen, which is actually good because it showed a project file that I would have gotten in trouble for, and I would have had to have killed the stream. Okay, so I wish every program put the path in the clipboard like Syntheyes does. So we're gonna go raw scan and bring in the OBJ, import. And thankfully Maya opens dense meshes like a dream. I wish Blender did. That being said, I know this is the highest quality mesh, but Blender does not handle high quality meshes very easily. So here we could see what we have. Okay, so I'll be honest, I don't have a science to this, and here's the thing, when I have, also if you're kind of sick of seeing this highlighted mesh because it makes it hard for you to see and orient, in Maya come up to show, selection highlighting off, and now we can see everything. So I'm going to snap this pivot, hold DV, snap it down to the bottom, to the vertice. I did it, but there's so many points that it's snapping all around, but it is going to make its way down there. It's just taking a moment. This is usually a pretty long thing to do. Render house. Why UV layout options are separate? Like, do we need to use UDIMs for these type of textures? Because we don't need any UV as it's already textured. It may be a silly question. Am I a noob? Am I a noob? Sorry, this is updating. So sometimes you have a scan that's so massive, and you can't fit any of that texture onto one space. If you do that, you're gonna start surpassing 4K or 8K textures. And what do you want? 16K textures? And these files get so ridiculous, and I don't know what resolutions are supported, honestly. But if you have a massive scan of a landscape and your photos are in there and they're so detailed and they're going around the whole thing, what you need to do is you need to take your scan into some software, lay out its UVs into chunks, and get them into their UDIM tile squares. And then you're gonna bring that model, that new UV'd model, back into Metashape. And then you just gotta right click import mesh, and it's gonna come in at the same spot. And then you just have to go bake texture again, and it's gonna go onto your UDIM mesh. And now you have a mesh with this bloody massive, insanely detailed thing. Wow, I'm not gonna move the pivot of this anymore, but hey, look, the pivot's moved. So I'm gonna hold control. Oh, it's getting pretty hot. I might have to take a break just before the Syntheyes portion of this. If you have a weird axis like this and you don't want to rotate like this, hold E, and then, like in Maya and most software, it's like WER for your translate rotate scale. Hold E and then click, and now I'm gonna go world. There we go. Also, I'm gonna do the same for the translate, so hold W, world. And again, we're not going to go for anything super perfect here because I don't have much to go off of. But sometimes I take a shot that shows a horizon line, and I do a track, constrain the model, and make it all work nice. And then I take the camera and the model, and I further adjust it to get the horizon lines level. And then that model is now my final layout. Okay, so oh, I hope that UV thing answered the question, by the way. The automatic UVs, like if I go here and take a look, let's go spacebar, UV editor. Here are the UVs. So these UVs are really, really useless if you had to do anything. But again, if you needed more detail in this texture and you have all those hundreds of cameras doing your scan, you can start to chop up and do your own UVs, and again start to disperse them out, make your tiles, and yeah, don't have them look like this. Okay, so let's pretend this was the final position. This is what we're, oh yeah, let's scale. Sorry, one more thing. Okay, we're going with this height boy, and I'm gonna scale this all the way up. That looks like about Kelvin height. Okay, so let's pretend you could look, if you need to, you can also just go create, measure tools, distance, and click a couple distancey things here. See, I made a really cheap locators here. And I think my Maya units are in centimeters right now. So 80 centimeters across. Let's just pretend that's accurate. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, Dan, it's powerful. It's powerful. I will look at that. Once I get this thing decimated. I want to see that, but I also am very tired. So, this mesh, I'm just gonna freeze it all. So spacebar, modify, freeze everything. But I gotta go options because, okay, my scale is on. Awesome, so this, we can pretend that this is done. So I'm gonna go spacebar, export selection. And off over here, I'm not gonna go into raw scan. You know what? I'm going into raw scan. I'm gonna dump it here. Scan. I'm just gonna call it. Stair scan underscore. I don't know. Let's call it final, I guess. Underscore V001. I should have called it high res. Okay, so now that I've exported that, I am going to open up Blender because I like decimating in Blender or ZBrush. ZBrush is my absolute favorite to decimate in. Blender struggles to get in super high res scans. It's not very good at handling high density stuff. So I'm gonna go Control A, delete, file, import, wavefront OBJ. Let's see, where am I going? Okay, scan, raw scan, and stairs. No. Wait, what? Didn't I export that? Oh, I exported it as a FBX. Oops. Export selection. And let's go OBJ. Stairs, scan, and here's my chance to go high res. Export. Okay, message. What do I see there? Walnut. LOL. How much time did you spend trying to find that exact moment in a 2.5 hour stream? Oh my god. Oh no, it's me saying something. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna be real self-conscious watching that. I'll watch it. I will see it. Render house. Ha. Dan, I spent 2.5 hours. Okay. All right, back to Blender. And bringing in that scan import. Come on, Blender, faster. Yeah, you can see it is slower. Hey, here we go. So I have this and I can't see shit. Oh, it was kind of loading things, I guess, huh? Okay, well, cool. All right, so let's go. We're gonna go to modifiers. Actually, let's just get back to. You know what? I don't want this texture plugged in. Let's get that out of there. Actually, I don't know why that's black, but oh. Huh? Okay, we're going material preview. Whatever. Okay, quick decimate. We're gonna go to the wrench modifier and decimate here. And I'm gonna go ahead and type in something like 0.2. Nice work, Dan. Oh man. I have to see what that is now. Okay, so that decimate seems to have worked pretty fast. And I wanted to go a little bit lower. Let's try 0.1. You don't have to worry about lost detail. Again, this is just for display purposes. We're only trying to keep our flat walls and our kind of our steps here. See, our steps are looking pretty sharp as well. We lost some railing, I believe, but again, that's fine. This is only for display. So I'm going to Control A. Oh no, wait, I have to come here. How do I apply this? I hit Control A. I think it's applying. Hey, there we go. So now that I have this, I'm gonna go F3, export, and wavefront. Raw scan, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna change high res to decimated. All right. Oh my God, we're in Syntheyes now. Cool. Let's get this done. Get out of here, Maya. Get out of your scanny thing. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. When you import a big file in Blender, it shows a little black box that says, yeah, 666 as it loads. I'm no conspiracy theorist, but the Blender devs are clearly in a satanic cult. What are they doing over there in Amsterdam? All right. That's how the founder stays so happy. That guy is such a happy dude. Okay. A comms. Sorry. Let's see. You couldn't do it in Maya? Question mark. I could have done it in Maya. I just like the decimation over there better. If I go 5, I can go tools. Oh wait, shift, right click, reduce, and let's go 90%. Oh, cannot object manifold geometry cleanup. So you got to clean up this mesh and do all that stuff first. That's why I don't want to do it in Blender. I mean Maya. There is another thing kind of tucked away somewhere, like a remesher. I don't know where it is. It might. Oh, it's in newer versions of Maya. There's a remesher. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of annoying in Maya. But I always decimate in ZBrush and Blender. Mainly ZBrush if I can help it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So this thing, Walnut, I used to decimate in Blender, but I do it in Cinema 4D now because it. Yeah, Blender is, it's a weird program, man. It's powerful, but it's also not powerful. Okay, so let's bring in the mesh. Let's just get this finished. Then I'm going to go to the 3D tab, come over to the geometry, import, or you can go up to File. Go up to... Now let's just go over here to import. Import Magic Wand, Seawall Steps, Raw Scan, and so I am going to bring in the high res. Oh, you can bring in FBX. So stare, high res, open. So here's the thing. This is supposed to make things faster, stripping the normals from an object. Except, I've tried this multiple times on LiDAR scans and stuff. Hitting yes makes the mesh so slow for me. I'm just gonna hit no. I generally hit no on that. All right, so we have the scan in here. If I hit orbit and alt click, I have the Maya stuff on. I'm gonna Control F, and I have to come to solver, turn my world size up, and I'm gonna hit Control F again. There we go. Here you can see this. So this mesh right now is hard to look at. It's got wireframe everywhere. To get rid of the wireframe, shift pipe key. And the pipe key, it's that slash key under backspace. So just under backspace, there's that slash, shift slash. Oh wait. Walnut I used to use, Walnut is basically the same, but it imports stuff better. Yeah. Walnut sent too early. Dan, he did it again. Powerful. I said powerful? I have to see what I said. Okay, so now that we have the mesh in here, what we want to do is bring in the texture. So we're going to come to 3D, or you can hit T on your keyboard and you have your texture panel. And if you don't want to hit T because for some reason you hate keyboards, come over to 3D, come to texture panel. And now with your mesh selected, you're going to come over and hit set. And now it's set. You can see we're in our step scan, and you can see our texture. I'm going to hit open. And now you can see that the texture is applied, except it's red. So if I click off, now you can see it. The only problem with is sometimes when you orient this and pin to it or stuff, it's going to be highlighted and you can't see. So if you keep this window open, you can hit hide mesh selection. So that is nice. So this is actually working pretty well, which is pretty nice. Maybe it's just my computer. Okay, so now that we have the mesh in here, we're gonna place some points. So I'm gonna go to my camera tracking view and I'm gonna hide my mesh. I have a hotkey for it, but you can right click, go to view, show meshes, wherever that is, right here. All right, so I'm gonna close the texture panel for now. So let's look for some details. I'm gonna look for this weird sweaty thing here. See, it's right there. So I'm gonna go and track something very recognizable. And I'm gonna make it very fast. Awesome. Now I'm gonna go to F3 and I'm gonna hit place under here. And now wherever I click, I am placing a constrained point for that tracker. So I'm gonna go place it right on that detail right there. Let's see. Dan, how many stills are necessary for photogrammetry? You know what? You can do photogrammetry off of like 4, 5, 6 photos. But don't leave it at that. This staircase, what I should have done is I should have taken like 30 or 40 photos of all these different angles going around the bars and stuff and going really close to the steps. I don't think I took that many. How many photos did I take? I took 7, 14, 21, 20, about, wait, I could do this, can't I? Does that count them? 50 photos. Oh, well, I kind of took a lot of photos. I took 50 photos. If I were you, take like 200. Take like 200 photos. That might actually be a bit much. Honestly, just as many photos as you can, because if there's like a couple gaps, like get multiple photos. Make sure if you have the underside of something, go take 2, 3 photos of it. Make sure that you have like parallax between photos showing off details. Okay, so we have one tracker. Is there something that is already on a detail that I can just jump onto? Let's just go and find another one and put a point there. Make it easy. Let's see. I like this thing up here. Actually, let's track this little brick part. Awesome. And now I'm going to hit F3 and go make sure place is turned on. And if I click around, if you click immediately, even if you don't know where the detail is, what's nice is Syntheyes will orbit around it and it will zoom in on it. So like if I click here, I can zoom. So I'm going to click over here and just zoom right. Oh, too far. Zoom right in. Bring my point right up there. Nice. And now we need 2 more for this to work. Let's go track something easy. I like this little split down here. So let's just track the center of this. Awesome. And F3, place and click somewhere down here, zoom in. Where's that detail? It's right beside this weird boomerang looking thing. F3, where is that? Oh, it's right here. That's a hard thing to see. That's fine. Okay, so I have 3 constraints. You could, while you're in refine, turn on constrain and solve, but don't do it with just 3 constraints. I'm gonna go ahead and get a 4th one. I'm gonna put it right on the tip of this little white piece here. I like that. It looks like it's gonna be easy to find. Oh, did I miss some stuff? Let's see. How many stills? Oh, I answered the how many stills thing for Dan. Awesome. Render house. I think how much details we want. Yes. Walnut. The more the better, but at least like 25. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. I like the minimum 25. Dan. Oh, okay. Okay. So, got that. Awesome. Okay, F3. Let's look again. Go to place. I There it is already. I found it already. Again, I just look for stuff I recognize, so we're gonna click right there. Okay, we have 4 points. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna solve now. That's all we're gonna do. So if I turn on my geo and show it, I'm gonna go wireframe as well, and just because I want it to look cool, I'm gonna go give it a color. I'm gonna hit the little color thing, and we're gonna let's make it like a light gray. There we go. So with the 4 points, my distortion is on, points are okay. I'm gonna go constrain on. If you don't use constrain, it's gonna line up your mesh. It'll look pretty good, but it's not gonna hard constrain these points, like to be exact. So I'm gonna hit go. Well, that was not expected. Did these have to have an initial solve? Let's turn constraint off and hit go. Okay, well, that was stupid. So here's what the alignment looks like. It looks pretty cool, but it is not super exact. So if we look at the points over here, you can see the seed point is kind of slightly separate. Maybe now we can turn on constrain, hit go. Hey, look, it worked. Okay, so I guess those points wanted to have a solve. So now we have a much more exact right here. You can see the rock got snugged in over here. All right, so here is our scan, man. Oh my God. So this is hard to see. So here's the thing. If you didn't touch or move this mesh in any stupid way, like you didn't pin it and move it or something, I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to go import, and we're gonna bring in the decimated version. Strip normals, hell nah. And now if I F2, now we have this version that we can better watch all the flat surfaces on. And here I can lock on and see when we watch the wall. Look at how well that sticks. Like, that looks pretty awesome. Let's see, render house, oh wait. A com. Now what we can do with this. Put anything you want, man. And do destruction, whatever you want to do. Render house, amazing. Dan, wow, you're amazing, man. Thank you so much. I'll take all the compliments I can get. So, Akam, what you would do with this? So, here's what you would do with this. Let's say, Walnut, Akam. This will also help with complex shots to solve like zooming or low parallax. Yeah, so what is nice is that if you have like a very zoomed in shot, like this is all you see, there's no parallax, and your solve was like, oh, your points are in the wrong depth, and the animated characters they wanted walking up those steps, they're not sticking right. But it's like, oh, I could, this little detail of brick, I can go and find on the model, but the texture constrain the points exactly, and your camera just lines up into that world space. So let's say you have a scene like this over in Maya. So here's what people would do. Let's say this is a set, like a green screen set, or a real world location. They scanned it. So let's say matte painters went and put a let's say matte painters went and put up their matte painted building over here. They put up another building over here. So basically, if your camera's over here and maybe there's a CG ocean going down here. So there's our ocean. So when you constrain your cameras to this stuff, all the CG that they put into the scene is going to perfectly just be where it needs to be. Like, oh, you got the camera tracking over here and it's gonna pan up here, and hey, look, you see some of those matte painted buildings sitting exactly where they wanted them to. This is a layout. So layout is making sure that your scene is all organized. You have continuity between all of your elements. So yes, this is important to keep track of things. Make sure that there's a realistic perspective. Like this building, if your camera was crooked in some of your scenes, your building might be a little bit crooked like this, and now you see it doesn't match the brick. But hey, you have this model, you've constrained to it, your camera comes in here and it's perfect to this geo. which means your camera's focal length is perfect and all the elements in CG are gonna look perfect. So yeah, scan sets, if you can constrain to them, it's gonna keep all your cameras in the same world space, and the continuity of everything is hopefully gonna be perfect. So that is the purpose of having scans. It's to help your points be exactly where they need to be, because that's measurements. So you can constrain your points onto these models and scans, and your solves, it just gives you the data. So yeah, that's about it, man. I'm done with this. So the last thing I will say is I'm gonna hide this, and I'm gonna go. Where's my hierarchy? I hid the big one. Let's go hierarchy view, collapse trackers, and I'm gonna show the high res. So the last thing I'll leave you guys with is that here I could go F3, L lock to camera, and you could see that I am playing it. We're not looking at the footage right now. We're looking at the scan. This is the scan in front of the footage. So you can see where things are slightly off. Like the railing, the scan wasn't that perfect naturally. You can see the edge over here is slightly off, but that's like blur and imperfect camera. So you could take and let's go window. Let me get my hierarchy view back. I can hide this mesh on and off. And look, you could see the shift in the geo. So if you wanted to get it more perfect, I'm gonna take this point and I want the mesh to slide up this way. So this point, I'm gonna go place, and I'm gonna bring that place marker slightly down here so it pulls this mesh up here. So hit Shift G to solve. You could see the whole mesh move. If I undo and redo, you can see what happened there. And I can hide and show the mesh. Look at that. See, it sticks better. See, I'm blinking it on and off as we watch it here. You can see, oh, look at this. Whoop, this white point here, it looks like a tracker found its way there. So if we look at it, yeah, so this point here, it's an automatic point, that's fine. We can see that it's supposed to be at this white point. And if I hide and show the mesh, look, you can see the model over here needs to move. So if I constrain this is gonna pull up here, and this mesh is gonna pull up and match with the real parts. So I'm gonna go constrain right there for that tracker and hit solve. There, so if I go F2, show mesh, here you could see the line here is fitting much better. Jamal, hello. You missed some good stuff. Okay, so F3, let's go back here. So Jamal, sorry you missed it, but we did a Photoscan, and then we lined it all up to the footage. And yeah, we decimated it and have a high-res version, and we also went and did the texture. So we had a texture and we brought it into Syntheyes and constrained to it. Yeah, so sorry about that. Also, if I'm over here, I'm gonna right-click. In newer versions of Syntheyes, you can go View Occluded Wireframe. And it kind of gets rid of, see, it's like use background in Maya. We can't see the wireframe behind now, it's occluding itself. Unfortunately, this mesh is so dense it's hard to see anything, and that's why you make a decimated version. Also, I'm gonna turn off the lighting, so right click, view, and go lit wireframes off. There we go, I could see those sides a lot better, or the fronts here. Oh, okay, Jamal, time has no mercy. You were doing great as usual. Thank you so much. All right, I'm so tired. It's almost 1 o'clock. If anybody has any quick lingering questions, that's about it. That's all I got. I'm a worn out boy. A calm, great job. Thank you so much. Oh wait, Walnut. Oh, Jamal said hi too. I'm sorry I missed that. Oh no, I did say it earlier. Walnut, if this were a shot where there wasn't much camera movement, would you constrain all points to this mesh? Yes. Yeah, if you have a LiDAR, always just constrain your points. Even if it's a lock-off, put down points that just sit there still to the shot and constrain them, and it'll line up your camera perfectly. Yeah, always if you have a scan, constrain to it. Dan, thanks again. Akam, I have to rewatch a million times. Render House, thank you. Okay, so yeah, if there's no super big questions, we are good. Oh my goodness, Render House has a question. Big surprise. Oh, you know what I also didn't see? I didn't see my powerhouse thing. Where is it? Oh, it's powerful. It is powerful for undistortion, and that is why. Wow. It is powerful for photos. Wait. Syntheyes is powerful with photoscanned geometry. I tried, man. I'm sorry. So Walnut, thanks so much for the stream. This was actually exactly what I needed. Going to try this out tomorrow. That's great to hear. I hope it works out. It would be cool to see a play blast of that because scans are always fun to look at. Dan, thanks for doing it. For sure. If anybody was wondering if like, oh, what if you do this with a LiDAR scan? This is basically the exact same as a LiDAR scan. Except the LiDAR scan would get these bars a lot better. But, you know, just in case you're wondering. Also, most LiDAR, they don't give you an image texture. They give you like point colors and that can be turned into a texture and it's fine, but you know, this is basically the same as getting a LiDAR scan. So if you got a LiDAR scan, all this applies completely. Render House, here's that question. We take scans to match the perfect reflections, right? Or this is just to find the position where it's in the real world. Dan, LiDAR is expensive. Oh, it's very expensive. We actually have a LiDAR we have a LiDAR camera at Track VFX. I talked to the owners of the company, and yeah, they'll let me use the LiDAR scan sometime. I asked them if we could take it out, scan something cool, maybe a city block or something like here downtown, scan Burrard Street or something, and we can go through a LiDAR process. But just so you know, in terms of working with a LiDAR scan, not different from what we just did. How much it cost? I actually don't know. I think it cost 12 grand for the camera. I think the scanner itself is 12 grand. Oh yeah, Render House. Reflections, everything. So yeah, let's say if you have a CG world and they're putting like a CG alien landscape over there, and maybe there's a window on this rock. They're adding a window. Because this whole set is lined up and oriented to the world and they modeled out the world, yeah, having a good oriented camera to your set it's gonna make your reflections real. It's gonna make your matte paintings and everything in the world just real and line up, and it's all gonna line up in every shot and possible angle. Yeah. If there's a set extension, oh yeah, that's a good point too, I should say. Sorry, last thing, and then I'm gonna go 100%. Oh, don't you dare launch Houdini. Get out of here. I clicked Houdini instead of stuff. I don't even use Houdini. It's been there for years because I've tried to like look at a couple things and now it's sitting there biting me. Ah, that's gotta load now. Get out of here. Don't even know how to use it. I would love to get me some Houdini indie. I know. I'm doing illegal activities. Sorry, I have to wait a moment. I just have to wait for this to go away on my other screen. There it is. Get out of here. Nobody wants you. Okay, so one more thing. Sorry. Let's say that here's again the purpose of scans, because now with a scan, what you could do is you might have have to extend something. So you can take and actually start extending like your stairs and stuff. And you can model it off of this stuff and blend it in. See, like, yeah, we just made brand new CG stairs. Whoa. What? That's weird. Whatever. Okay, here we go. Okay, so see, I did a set extension now. We made some. Well, wow, this is really bad. Whatever. So yeah, there's our set extension, and you know, making sure that you constrain to the set and your whatever, it makes it so that this CG is gonna stick perfectly in all the angles and stuff. But yeah, like people, yeah, this is what people do all the time with scans and whatever. You can, yeah, you know, you build out your stuff. Render house. Oh yeah, nice. Didn't know about this, man. Oh, Jamal wrote something. Oh wait, there's a few. Wait, I gotta go up to the top here now. So expensive walnut. That would be cool to see constraining to a mesh of a whole block. Yeah, that would be fun. I would actually get around to do that sometime. Dan, it's so expensive. Photoscan is fine for most of the shots. Yeah, it pretty much is. Akam, what would be your next stream and when? My next stream might be in 2 weeks. I have a family matter, a family health thing, and I am going back to Alberta. So I'm going to be gone from the 1st till the 8th. So I'm likely not going to be streaming next weekend. But when I'm back, the next stream might be the torso and arm, maybe a head to a roto-anim. It's gonna be a very tough multi-part stream. Yeah, so that's gonna be tough. Hopefully that's good. Walnut. I've been getting into Houdini for some sims. It's awesome. I found some awesome PyroSim tutorials. Yeah, there's so many great tutorials in Houdini. Houdini is a lot of fun. I can do some real kind of basic stuff in it. I can't do any witchcraft though. Dan, I did that wristwatch alignment in Houdini Indie. Indie is the best. You did that alignment there? That's pretty nice. I haven't heard of anybody in match move or start a match move like that. Houdini would be a very interesting program to start that in. And now let's see, Jamal. The last time with only few images and nodes in PF Track. Your shots can be lined up perfect with scan created all inside PF Track, but you really need a grid for understore for the images and shots. That's kind of a bummer. That's not good. Ideally, your software would be good enough at doing distortion by itself and doing the scan. I'm pretty sure PF Track doesn't understore it off of photogrammetry. That doesn't seem right. I know you can do it manually. You can solve it, and it'll give you distortion, and that'd be fine. Yeah, PF Track can do that. I really need grid. I do recommend a grid though. I would recommend a grid. But yeah, PF Track can do some pretty decent photo scanning, photogrammetry for meshes. So you could totally do this all just in PF Track. And you can track your scene, solve it, and then you can generate off of that, which is pretty cool. But again, if you're doing a scan, I do gotta say, if you're doing a scan, don't do it off of a shot like this. Do not take a shot like this and generate your scan and use it for other shots. Don't do it. That scan sucks, okay? Just trust me. This scan is only as good as your solve, and this solve even wasn't good. You saw that I had to adjust things. So yeah, only MPF track, only take your survey images and build a photo scan off of that, and then use it for your shots. But Jamal's right. Render house. Oh yeah, nice. Didn't know. Oh wait, yeah, I read that. Render house. So then how are we gonna create the same textures? I mean, they have the textures images while shooting images for the scan. Wait, what are you talking about? So then how are we gonna create the same textures? I mean, they have the textures images while shooting images for the scan. Are you talking about if you were to do a set extension, how do you recreate these textures? Usually, like, you can get comp artists or matte painters to do little patches and clean up those little areas, if that's what you mean. Okay, for set extensions. Oh yeah, I just answered that. Yeah, that's my answer. You can have comp artists and you can get the texture close enough and you can apply this and then you can clean it up. On set, hopefully people have taken photos of this stuff and provided it for you, and then you can patch it in like Substance and whatever. Hopefully you're in a linear workflow, and all that stuff will just work. And then when it's not perfect, because it's rarely ever perfect, like ever, you can have comp artists just go and patch little seams and stuff, and that would be it. Or matte painters. Walnut, I know you have a ton of streams planned already, but stream of how to solve a super distorted wide focal length plate with a grid would be cool. Not sure if anybody else wants to see that though. I would like to do that. But yeah, that's a good point. I do got to do the clone stream, and I have to do the roto-anim stream. So those are going to be my next two, I think. Clone and roto-anim. But I like that distortion using a grid. That is a good one. That's, if I can remember that one. I might have to be reminded, but that might be a good third stream. Okay, so I do gotta say, I do gotta cut it off now. I am very tired, overheated, and I need to go to sleep because I have work in the morning. So thank you so much for stopping by and waiting for that scan to take place for however long that took. So yeah, Walnut, I could try to remind you after the others. Good night. Thank you. Yeah, you might have to. I should write it down, but then I'll forget about the note. I have a very crappy memory. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, Render House. All right. So we're going end screen. And thank you for watching. And I hope you can do some cool stuff with some scans and do some cool shit do some cool in Syntheyes. And have a good night. Desperately watching the end title, huh? You need to... You need to find some hobbies, man. But I know watching that giant triangle float up, I know that's about the highlight of most people's day here. Ain't nobody here's kidding me. Alright, I'm gonna go now for sure. So, have a good night.